જય હાટકેશ. આપણા બે વિસનગરના મંડળો જે છે મુંબઈમાં એના વતી આપણે એક સિરીઝ ચલાવીએ છીએ જેનું નામ છે યંગ અચીવર્સ. આજના આપના ગેસ્ટ છે હર્ષ પંડિત, જે યુએસમાં છે, ન્યૂ જર્સીમાં છે, અને એમને એમએસ કર્યું છે. અને ઇન્ટરેસ્ટિંગ થિંગ એવી છે કે હી ઇઝ ઇન ધ યુએસ એરફોર્સ. He's done his master's in computer science. So welcome, Harsh, to this program.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Harsh, it's absolute pleasure to have you here for two things. One, you have done your MS in computer science, which is good, which is a good achievement. And more so, being a Gujarati first and then being a Nagar second, you have chosen to go into the US Army. Of course, probably you are a US citizen, and so you are entitled. So I'm very keen to know, how did you decide to join the army?
Well, to be honest, it was never on my mind at first. I was always going the traditional route. Go to school, go to college, get your white collar job, and just live the American dream. Somewhere along the lines, just growing up watching all these movies, military and all these cool gadgets and technologies. It was always in the back of my mind. I want to be part of something bigger, something much more engaging, something that's very purposeful. And at the time that I graduated college, I was working. There was nothing exciting going on. I was like, you wake up, go to work, come back, that's it. So I said, how can I add some spice, something fun, something that can give me some more meaningful purpose? I was, driving down the road and I saw the Air Force officer. I said, let me stop by and see what the requirements are at least. And from that moment on, when I walked into the office, we started talking to the recruiter. I was like, this is something that's keeps my interest. I have a lot of opportunities. And the journey started from that point on.
Okay, great. So therefore you are saying, if I understand it correctly, is that this was not a dream that was there from the childhood, but near graduation, you chose for whatever reasons to join because you thought there was some excitement or there's some experience or something unusual. Is that something that prompted you to do that?
Absolutely. I had a couple of reasons. One, the appeal was, the physical fitness part. I was starting my journey to become more fit as is. And I sought this opportunity to say, hey, this is another very good way to, kind of get myself into shape, motivate myself. And along with that, like I said, the opportunities, the chance to work on latest and greatest toys. So those two things combined, okay, let me just give it a try. It was a very long journey, though. From start to finish, it took more than a year.
Okay. And your CV tells me that you went through once you got selected. And the selection process, as you were mentioning, is pretty tough. And the percentile of selection is not even 20%, 30%. Is that correct?
That is correct. So the ratio is, in this country, 1% of the entire population only serves that due to either your medical reasons or your qualifications, or you just simply choose not to. So that breaks down between all 5 branches. So yeah, we're basically saying that's one of the 1%.
Oh, and your training involved 3-4 areas. One was that the mental toughness, physical toughness. Can you tell us something about the training?
Yeah, it's take it at face value, if you will, but the movies you see where they have to crawl through the mud and in the rain and march, and it's similar to that. They just want to put you in a very uncomfortable situation. See how you respond, how you react to that.
Okay.
So, we had to walk 10-15 miles with 100-pound weights.
100-pound weights? 100-pound weights, yeah. More than probably your own weight.
Yeah, more than my own weight, with all our gear.
Okay.
All our equipment, and we walked down the road, uphill, downhill. So it was very, very challenging.
Okay.
It doesn't make, you don't get enough sleep. You wake up at like 4:45. You sleep till like 10 o'clock at night.
So they make men out of boys. Is that correct? Is that a correct statement in the army?
I would say that's a very correct statement. You walk in, a boy, you graduate a man.
Oh, so true. I think the same applies to the Indian Army as well, because they are a breed apart, and they make gentlemen officers also. So do they also make gentlemen officers in the US Army?
Of course they do. Of course they do.
So what is that one quality? What is that one quality that you have sort of imbibed into yourself, which qualifies you? to be a gentleman officer?
I would say discipline. So we have we have three core values, right? We follow here. It's integrity first, service before self, and excellence in all we do. So we kind of live by and abide by those core
So
values.
can I repeat it for you? Integrity, service before self, and what was the third one?
Excellence in all we do.
Excellence would also be part of corporate culture, isn't it? But the service before self and would be something which is maybe reserved, if you like, for the army. Is that also out there in the US?
It is out there in the US, but these are the three core values that they try to instill in you as you're going through these tough times. It's because it's not only is it very challenging, but also like for example in my training unit is about 700 people, right? And I was the only Indian person there. So as you can imagine, you face all kinds of issues, doubts, thoughts come through your mind. But you just keep reminding yourself of why you're there, and you keep thinking of those three core values, and you try to instill them in your everyday life as much as you can. And I believe that is what makes you different or stand apart from the average citizen.
And this is a voluntary job, and this remains. Is there an age barrier for this, or you can choose when you want to sort of hang your boots?
Well, there is an age limit. When you want to enlist, you cannot be over the age of 31. But once you're already gone through and passed the graduate, you can stay in as long as you like.
Oh, okay.
As long as you're fit and as long as you're able to do your job.
Physically, mentally fit. Yeah.
Right.
So as you were telling me, you have to divide your time between two things. You also do a corporate job, and you're doing a responsible corporate job based on the qualifications that you have accumulated for yourself, which is MS in computer science. And you also are involved with this unit that you have joined, the Air Force. How do you manage your time, and how difficult it is to manage the time?
It's very difficult. It's not as easy as it looks because it never ends. I could be doing my corporate job, which I'm a manager, so that's a different story of its own. But even though you're doing your one job, you always have your emails coming in, people asking you for this paperwork, that paperwork. So after some time, you have to stop differentiating, and it just all becomes one big job. You just switch responsibilities.
So when you are doing your corporate job, you also have to attend to this Air Force job that you have, or that's not normally, it doesn't happen that way. It happens the other way around.
No, it doesn't usually happen, but there's always some task or someone asking some questions, so you're always on just replying and just being there for them.
Okay, interesting.
So it kind of overlaps. Yeah, it's very difficult to actually cut off straight and simple. It's
and of course you love it, so you don't mind doing it, I'm sure, isn't it?
No, you don't mind doing it.
Yeah. You see that when you talk to an army officer or you talk to a military person, you always find him to be very tough in his mind. Would that be a right statement to make?
Tough, I would say yes. Calloused, I'll use the word calloused, because that's part of the job, sort of to say. Well, yeah, you have a lot of responsibilities. You come across a lot of obstacles and lots of situations, and in that moment, like fight or flight, you have to keep yourself grounded and say, okay, this is the situation. How are we going to go about this? So toughness has to be there.
Yeah, very true. Also, if I were to look around for almost 20, 30, 40 years, I have rarely or never ever come across anybody from our family or from our community, whether it is India or abroad, who has actually chosen to join the army. So to that extent, you're unique, and therefore we compliment you that you are definitely an achiever to that extent, that you have chosen to serve the country that probably you are a citizen with. So compliments from us, and congratulations. Congratulations from us.
Thank you.
If you were to share this experience or this mind frame that you develop when you sort of, okay, tell me about the experience when you walked in to the recruitment office of the Air Force.
Sure. So, as I walked in, I parked the car, I sat in the car for a few minutes. I said, do I really want to do this? I walked inside and You know, I saw that office there, everybody in uniform walking around. And for a second, I was like, okay, this is very intimidating. You know, do I belong here?
Intimidating.
You know,
And it was
very,
intimidating, is it?
it's very intimidating because, you know, I see all these different races and I'm the only Indian one there. So that's a factor in my mind. Like, you know, I don't know if I could do this. And I sat there and I
Let
started
me let
talking.
me let me let me cut you here. You mentioned, and I noticed it, and I want to bring it out for the information of all the viewers. As you know, the viewers will be the young and the middle age and the old of our community and friends and whatever. That when you joined or when you decided to walk in the intimidated environment that you had, you were the only Indian who actually wanted to do this, and you walked in. And today also, as you were telling me, that I'm not talking of any racial discrimination, but I'm talking of a comfort level, and a comfort level that you have when you're in your own community. I mean, as Indians or as Gujaratis or as Asians or whatever, right? So, and you had just nobody there, and you don't have anybody there whom you can sort of say that you are from the same region, if you like, you know. So how does
Right.
it feel? Does it have any impact on your well-being,
Oh
on
yeah,
your
well,
comfort
sure.
levels? Yeah.
100%. You know, like I said, it's not about, you know, being racial discriminated or being racist, but it does take a, you know, you just feel kind of that, like an outsider. You know, you're saying, you know, between all these people, where do I fit in? You know, you see, uh, it's not like you're gonna be picked on, but you feel uncomfortable, right? You feel like you're out of place, and you have no support system. But that kind of works in your favor because when you get comfortable with the uncomfortable, that's when things happen.
When you get
That
comfortable with the uncomfortable, then things
that's
happen.
when you
Right.
that's when you progress. You know,
Oh,
that's when you excel. Because at that point, you don't need to rely on anyone. You say, "Hey, I got this," and you just go about your way.
very well said. Very well said. So, when did you migrate to US? Was it in your teens or before that? Or,
No, before I was barely 1 years old.
oh, so you
I came in
hardly.
'91, so
Yeah. And do you come to India regularly? Do you come on vacations or things like that?
yeah, I visited quite a few times. I try to come every few years.
Yeah. So if supposing I were to ask you one question related to
Hmm.
from a helicopter point of view or in the Air Force, from a helicopter view of people of your age who are aspiring to
Hmm.
do something and get out, if you like, or be away from their comfort zone and achieve something in life. What is it that one thing in your view that you would observe whenever you came here on your vacations or whatever that you would want to sort of share with maybe somebody 5 years, 10 years younger to you?
I would just say if you have a goal or a dream that you want to achieve, no, you're gonna face obstacles, right? You're gonna face hardships and failures, but just remember your why. Like, you know, why do I want to do this? Why is this important to me? And make that your driving factor, and just keep pushing.
So you look at why it is important to me. So find out what your goal and decide. I'm
Hmm.
just translating and then making it to an Indian English compared to your US
Of
English.
course, no,
Yeah.
of course.
So what you
I would say two things.
yeah. So what
I'd
you're
say
saying is,
one.
yeah. Sorry, you're saying something.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You go ahead.
No, I was just saying, just remember your why. I mean, why do you want? Why you even after you face failures, right? Because secondly, accept failures. Failures are gonna come, okay? But that's a good thing because every time you fall, you're gonna learn something, right? So remember, accept failures and remember why you're doing this.
Accept failures and remember why you're doing it. Yeah. And can I add?
That's super simple enough.
Can I?
So yeah,
Yeah. Can I add something and not be worried too much about the results? The results will come along the way.
yes, just keep
Yeah.
pushing.
Yeah, just
It
keep
doesn't matter.
pushing.
Just keep pushing.
Yeah.
Just keep
So
pushing.
so tell me, Army I know teaches you to push yourself to the maximum because I have a lot of
Right,
interaction with a lot of Army officers here. It sort of pushes your boundaries, if you like.
right.
Correct.
100%.
100%.
It pushes
So
you physically, mentally,
physically,
you
mentally,
just,
and in all
or you
respects, in all
just,
respects. Yeah. Yeah. But it also
right.
plans. It never just walks in. It plans everything. It does everything right. It doesn't want to lose its men or
Plan and
material.
execute.
Plan and execute.
You gotta
That's true.
plan and execute.
True. Very true. Very nice. So in your view, uh, what would be your suggestion to the youngsters again in terms of planning and execution? in their career
I'll
goals,
say
in whatever they decide to do, because ultimately everybody 5 years younger too is looking to his career and having a goal and an aspiration.
so. I would say to keep it simple, right? Just write down what you want to do and write down your steps of how you plan to get there. Let's keep it very simple. Say I wanna go to school and get a master's degree. Great. What do you want to go to school for? What's the first, second, third, fourth step? Once you have a basic plan laid out, then just keep following that. And of course, it'll change. As variables change as you progress through that plan. But just have something to go off of.
True, very true. And I'm sure in this process, you must have met some real difficult situation when you said,
Yeah.
well, it's not working out. I need to quit. And I'm not talking of the physical part. Physical, you're young, you can manage. Your body can sort of manage. But one thing that when you are on the four roads, as they say here, and you chose not to take a U-turn, not to take an about turn, what was that one moment, if at all you can remember?
Oh yeah, there's just so many things that happen, but sure I can. Every time I thought, I'm done, I'm not doing this anymore. Then I said, Lord, look, I'm already here, right? And I just have to remember that I just have to get through this. Try not to think, try not to process, just get through it, and just keep pushing.
True.
Because how many people are able to be in this place, in these shoes right now? Going through this training. I've seen people walk out of the recruiting office just heartbroken, saying, "Hey man, this is my dream. I couldn't want to do it." And just because I'm facing some difficulties doesn't mean I should walk away. I should make most of this,
True. Very
good
true.
or bad, and just keep
Bad.
going.
Yeah. Stick to it. Stick it out.
Stick to
Work
it.
hard. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you, Harsh. I think it was
thank you.
absolute pleasure. We are coming to almost the end of the time that we had slotted. I think it was an absolute pleasure to talk to you. 2-3 things that I've noted, which I would want our viewers to note, is that you got to push yourself to the max. That you must have a goal, make it very simple, and you got to work hard and not worry too much about the results. The results will come. I think
Right.
nice prophetic words from a young man with broad shoulders who's chosen what he has liked, and is enjoying what he is doing. He's working in the corporate world. He's working for the US, where he's a citizen and making a absolute candidate whom we again compliment as a young achiever of our community.
Thank you.
Thank you, Harsh, to have
Thank
spoken.
you so much.
Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Thank you.